COVID-19, which is brought to you by News Karnataka, Global TV, V4 News, Malnadu TV, Organ Donation India Foundation, and GYAN. Our endeavor is to enlighten everyone about the impact of COVID in all different sectors. We are listening to the leaders of those sectors or the industry or the services, what they have to say, what are the good points or what are the impact of this COVID-19. And today, we are going to discuss in this series the COVID-19 work from home culture. As you all are aware that all the companies, especially the IT companies, earlier they were allowing the employees once a week or sometimes twice a week to work from home. But after the COVID-19, when everything was under lockdown, everyone was supposed to do the work from home. And it has created good points as well as not that good points. So to understand what are the advantages, disadvantages, strengths, opportunities, whatnot, we have a very elite panel today from, I can say, Pan Global or the entire. We have one panelist from USA, one from Singapore, one from Mumbai, and one from Greater Noida. So I will start with the first panelist. He is Mr. Munish Jain. Welcome, Mr. Munish Jain, to the show. Mr. Munish Jain. Mr. Munish Jain is the chairman of ACE Syndicate, Greater Noida. Prior to his entrepreneurial debut in 2007, he headed a US-based MNC as a marketing country head. Mr. Jain is confident, creative, and highly experienced marketing professional with 15 plus years experience of distinguished and demonstrated performance in the customer service, marketing, and BPO industry. He began his entrepreneurial journey in 2007 with an exemplary launch of an information technology-based BPO, KPO, online marketing, web development, and a group of e-commerce portals. Welcome, Mr. Munish Jain, on this show. Now, my first question is, because you are on the other side, you are the employer, and you know that all employees are working from home. Now, what is your opinion whether this culture is good or it is not? Because there are reports that one of the leading company in India has declared that 75% of their employees will be working from home for next 5 years. And other IT companies has also declared for 6 months or 1 year time. Although the advantage which the newspaper says that the real estate, they have to leave. And I also came across with many of the companies where they were having on rental the offices, which they have either they already left or they are in the process to leave. And it is going to save definitely lots of money. But whether the output which the earlier the employees were giving is the same or less or more. So we would like to know from you the COVID-19 work from home culture. Mr. Munish Jain, please.
Thank you, Mr. Lal. Good morning to all. Well, see, work from home culture is nothing new for the IT industry. I mean, like you said, about 75%, a company called TCS, they are aiming for 75% work from home culture in next coming years. And companies like Dell have already achieved it. You know, so for IT industries, yes, this transition would be easy. And 20% is already, you know, workforce is already doing it or was doing it. And moving on to, let's say, 80% or 100% in near future will not that be difficult, especially for the IT industry. But yes, it will be a bigger challenge for other industries like manufacturing or the real estate or you can say the retail, where you need a physical presence. So yes, of course, this is a new scenario, and as we call it, you know, that necessity is the mother of invention. So you would have to come up with new situations. You would have to come up with new tools in order to work with or work from home culture to develop that. So there are various advantages as well as various disadvantages of working from home. I mean, being an employer, I would say yes, there are advantages as far as in the cost front, or I would say there are advantages in the flexibility front, and disadvantages as in let's say bigger risk of security or the data for my clients. That's one of the biggest threats that we have because of this culture. Then we have poor infrastructure at the employees level, workforce level. You may not have best of the equipment. You may not have best of the internet available, for to the workforce. So that is something that the challenges that we have to face. And let me start with few of the advantages that I see in near future. Now, this will reduce the cost dramatically and drastically for the IT companies. Reason being, if you plan like TCS is planning for about 75% work from home in near future. Dell has already achieved it, and there are various companies working on it because they have no options now. So the cost as far as the infrastructure is concerned, the buildings, rents, transportation, or the other five-star facilities which they used to provide to their workforce. So they would come down dramatically. So if you say 25 to 30% would be working from office and then work from home, others work from home. So you can say a significant reduction in the operating cost. That is something one biggest advantage that I see. Now, apart from that, you get flexible timings for the staff. So staff has other advantages if they're serious and if they're multi-skilled, they're well equipped as far as the knowledge is concerned, their domain knowledge is concerned. So they can work flexible timings according to balancing their family and work life. So that is also an advantage for people who are expert or who are multi-skilled in achieving that. So that is something that I see it is good, especially for the working women. They can balance their work and home life much better. So that's advantage. Even you get an opportunity for retired people. Now, for retired people who were probably unable to commute or not that comfortable going to offices, they can probably get an opportunity to work from home. So that's also something that in near future we would see a lot of experience coming from the retired personals. So that's something that I see as and it's easy to set up. Work from home, all you need is a computer machine, a laptop or a computer along with a good internet connection. I think you're good to go. Now let me come to the weaknesses of this culture. First, as I mentioned, the main issue is the security of the data of your client. That is something where when it is not monitored or when it is scattered to your employees, then it's a challenge. So quality issue may be the challenges delivering of high quality, because you don't have a supervisor or a direct supervision over your employees. So a casual attitude might come in with the non-serious staff. So that bonding or the team building may be missing, because people learn a lot during their when they're on at work, learn from each other. That is something that would be missing when you have all work from home culture. So and apart from that, the mindset of the employees and managers, because people learn from each other, so they would have to learn everything by their own. They have to upgrade their knowledge by themselves. They have to stay in the competition, so they have to self study. So that is something that this new system has to be developed in such a way that a proper training and a proper skills to be imparted to the employees, so that they are at the same level. Because now you don't have the seminars, you will not have the training sessions, you will not have the conferences or the team building exercises among the employees. So that is something that needs to be worked upon, that how all the employees or how all the workforce is at the same level. So that's also something that needs to be worked on. And then I would say the most important as a management is identifying and eliminate the non-critical expenses. So that is something that a top management have to work on. That, okay, how do you identify which is critical, which is non-critical? You eliminate all those expenses. You probably invest in performance tools, you invest in quality check tools, and that is something would be the requirement of the near future as far as the work from home culture is concerned. Now, I would say business continuity is a challenge as far as the non-IT industry is concerned. Most of them, I mean, not with the industries and companies with deep pockets, but especially the medium and small scale industries would face a tremendous challenge as far as the business continuity is concerned, because you would require personnel, you will require staff, you will require people to manufacture. You cannot manufacture from home. There are large industries, large plants, and everywhere where you need the production and everything. So that is something where the government needs to come in, step in, and probably help the medium and small sector employers, in order to help them out to come up with this. And more importantly, I think this is for globally, the crisis management. This, no one expected that something of this magnitude and this sort can happen. People have large teams for crisis and disaster management, everything. But I'm sure very few would have ever imagined that there would be such kind of a situation too. So more, thoughtful, because see, there is no disease which has ever gone from Earth. Anything which has come in is bound to stay. COVID will not go. It will not eliminate. It will gonna stay. Vaccine may come in, everything is fine, but these and something more or something new may come up in near future. So we have to be prepared with something, or the crisis management and the disaster management. We had no such plans. Everybody failed on this front, as far as my knowledge goes. No one had this kind of a strategy developed or planned, that wherein, let's say if something happens or like this, fine, other act of God was there, but so this was something very new for everyone. Now,
yes, Mr. Jain. I think you have made your point that you have given the strength and weaknesses of the work from home culture, and you have mentioned how the advantages to the employer as well as to the employees, as well as some disadvantages. Now, our next panelist, I would like to move. He is Mr. Jayesh K. Shah. Welcome, Mr. Shah, on the show. Please unmute yourself. Please unmute. Mr. Shah, you have to unmute yourself, please. No, you have to unmute.
Sorry, I'm out of network. I could not hear you.
Okay.
Yes.
Mr. Jayesh K. Shah, welcome to the show.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Goel. And
now I will like to introduce Mr. Jayesh K. Shah. He is a managing partner and CEO, Percept H, Strategic Content and Creative Services. He has done his BFA, a hardcore advertising professional with over 20 years of experience, currently heading Percept H, having operations across 3 cities and clients across various categories, from real estate, fashions, lifestyle, finance, automobile, and more. Welcome, Mr. Shah. Now, my question to you is, you have heard what Mr. Munish Jain mentioned. Although he's from the IT and he's an employer of, he's the owner of a company. Now, from your side, because you are in the advertising field, and you are not only dealing with the IT company, you are dealing with all types of companies. Now, what is your take as far as the COVID-19 work from home culture? Mr. Jayesh Shah, please.
Yes. Thank you very much, everybody, and hi hi to everyone over here. See, I come from an advertising industry, and I believe all of my peers over here are from IT industry. I come with a very different perspective, And, after getting a call from Mr. Lal yesterday, I thought if you are going to talk about work from home culture, culture is going to be evolved around the four stakeholders from any and every industry. The stakeholders are the organizations, the stakeholders are the employees, the stakeholders now, because it is work from home, it's also going to be the family of the employees. And the fourth is, of course, the industry. The fact that on a Sunday morning, at 11 o'clock, rather than having a lazy Sunday morning tea, we are all here discussing work from home, says it all what the life is going to be in future. I come from an industry which is very people-driven, intensive on people-driven. Anything and everything was across the table with interactions. Brainstorming across the table, briefing across the table with the client, discussions across the table, approvals across the table, and suddenly one Friday, everything was said, let's work from home. The discovery that I have made in that Friday, Monday morning, our entire office across all branch was working with 99.99% efficiency, working from home, and no glitches. It was so very surprising and so very extraordinary. So I think as a human being, as professionals, we can tackle any and every situation. Now, what I have done is, I've gone into micro details. My job being being part of the promoter and being part of the management, I have to have organization's perspective, but also being a CEO, I need to have employees' perspective and their family's perspective. There are few observations at micro level I've made. From employees' perspective, I see there is suddenly no traveling to work. For a city like Bombay and Delhi, as an employee, you're saving 2 to 3 hours. You're avoiding your crowded buses, your crowded trains. So what you get in return is savings of 2 to 3 hours, a very stressless travel, zero travel thing, which means an employee lands up in office or is at home completely unexhausted and fresh. The point number 2 for an employee is that there is a new equation that he's discovering for work-life balance. While more time is spent with his family, he's also probably ending up working more than usual. But it's also got a flexibility. For an example, if from all my Zoom calls, if I got 15 minutes of a break, I can now play, probably cricket at home and a few hours with my child before I get into the Zoom call. And this, if done in very disciplined way, is going to be a very lovely experience for every employee. All they have to do is maintain the discipline. The third is it has got everybody, each and every employee and individual to become a tech savvy overnight. I was not a very tech savvy person, but overnight I have become tech savvy. But for an employee, this has also come, there is another side also. The multitasking has increased like anything. Multitasking not within the job functions, but also multitasking between home and between the job. So suddenly I'm expected to answer the doorbell. Suddenly I'm expected to, attend to my crying child. Suddenly I'm expected, somebody walks in. So it has become, multitasking like crazy for an employee. One cannot not report to work. It is assumed that he will be working and he is at work. So if I have a mild headache, I want to come home or come to work late, that possibility is gone. And yes, the walls between home and office has gone down. So, everybody would understand, especially in metros, this satisfaction of completing a hard day's work and going back home to my family, that satisfaction is gone. Because I am just at home working and there is nowhere back to going to comforts of my home. So these are very, very, very minor insights, but which have a huge impact from an employee perspective. If you look at organization point of view, yes, definitely, like Munish said, there will be scope of reducing the investment into real estate, of setting an office and running an office. One great insight I got that, work from home has resulted into disintegration of my team. Suddenly it was so close networking and so close working, suddenly everybody is far away from each other. But this physical disintegration has actually led to integration of my organization. Suddenly there is no Bombay office, there is no Pune office, there is no Delhi office. Everybody is at par and everybody is present for each other. The team was never so integrated in all those 14, 15, 20 years than it was right now across branches. So the disintegration of the team physically has led to actually stronger integration of the team. Organizations, I think, will be happy saying that, the clients will no longer look at, showcase branches. So I have few clients saying, are you present in Delhi? What will be your performance if you're not present in Delhi and I'm present in Delhi? Now those boundaries are gone and clients are now realizing that physical presence doesn't matter. It is how about the intent and the team that you have across the nation. So I think that is one major difference. I think the trend other is there will be centralized operations across the board. I no longer need independent team of various job functions for various branches. I am now working towards having a centralized core at one location and having people. It's like a restaurant. So there will be a kitchen at one location, but the service delivery will happen from different locations. So I think that is going to be the trend. Of course, lesser overheads and operating costs for organization. One thing is going to also be very prominent is individual performance, accountability and measurability. It will be so very tangible that organization will actually have it listed down, what have you done for the day. So that was very much missing right now in our industry. And I think this is where we will be graduating to. One more very small insight, but great difference. Organization will have to trust their employees, saying that if they are present at home and they are working from home, they are definitely working from home for us. Okay. There is no freelancing happening. There is no, moonlighting happening. And that is, the trust is going to play a critical role. And I think all the employees will have to also respect that trust. Of course, pardon me?
Okay, yeah. Mr. Shah, you have made a very forcible points. You have mentioned very clearly how the advantages of employer as well as employees. And the last point which you have made about the trust, which is very much required, because if an employee is working at home, whether he's working only for the company or he's working for someone else, although when he was working in the office also, he can do the same thing. But yes, there are lots of restrictions. Now I would like to go to our next panelist. He is Mr. Gaurav Agrawal. Welcome, Mr. Gaurav Agrawal, to the show. Mr. Gaurav Agrawal is a program manager, IT consulting at St. Joe's, California, USA. Mr. Gaurav Agrawal, good evening to you, because I think it's almost 11 o'clock in the night.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay. He is currently working for an American-based MNC. He has done his post-graduation in computer applications from Delhi. He is having 14 years of diverse experience in IT development and technology consulting for Indian and American MNCs and worked in Hyderabad, Bangalore, Qatar, and USA. His core competence are providing niche and best-in-class IT solutions and business transformation services to large-scale clients, mainly on supply chain and finance areas. Mr. Gaurav Agrawal, welcome to our show. Now, you have heard our earlier panelists, Mr. Munish Jain and Mr. Jayesh Shah. Although they are both from the other side, because they are the employers in one way. Although Mr. Shah has also given the perspectives about the employee side also. Now, you being working in a company, in an MNC, we would like to know from you the COVID-19 work from home culture. Mr. Gaurav Agarwal.
Sure. Hello, viewers, and thank you, Mr. Lal, for inviting me to this panel to share my views and thoughts on pandemic and especially the work from home culture. So we have heard some views of Mr. Munish and Mr. Jayesh about the employer and employees perspective. I would like to touch upon some of those areas, and of course take us, all of us, back to some of the previous decades and learn the evolution of this whole work from culture, right? So I, being one of the technocrat, and especially working on IT consulting side, have traveled within India and a couple of other countries. Within US, I've worked for multiple clients, which provided me an opportunity to learn about their culture, how they operate, how they work, right? How schools operate, how government bodies operate, how clients operate. I must say that amongst all of the learning which I've got so far, I think we as part of service industry or so-called IT industry are one of those fortunate and blessed breed who have an option of working from home. So while this whole crisis is happening, wherein a lot of industries are at stake and a lot of workers, especially on manufacturing, agricultural and health sectors, are really having tough time. I think we are someone who have this opportunity to work from home, right? While I agree that there are pros and cons, and there are tremendous amount of challenges across us, but then I must say that opportunity lies in the midst of difficulties, right? I come from an age, and I hope most of you would agree with this, that who have grown and raised during such a time wherein the mode of reading and entertainment used to be Chacha Chaudhary and Champak comics. We have all grown up watching rental VCRs, rental movies and DVDs and CDs on those VCRs. To teach our taste buds, our moms have provided us those chuskis and baraf golas, right? Doordarshan used to be the only channel. Our favorite indoor games used to be Antakshari, Ludos and stuff like that, right? So I mean, if I take a pause here, and if you actually look back and see the pattern of all these some of the points which I've noted, is the core of that is actually something which is working from home. Now, whether it is an employer who is working from home, or whether it is a kid who is actually evolving to be a professional who has to work either on premise or from home culture, this work from home culture is not a very new for us, right? Especially for Indians, right? I mean, this is something which we have seen, we have admitted, we have all gone through. I actually have a fresh memory in my mind wherein my father used to work in Indian Oil Corporation, took me to his office, and on one of the field trips, and I remember a glimpse of somebody working on a big room having some sort of supercomputers inside that, wherein somebody was asked to actually take off his shoes, before entering to the room. Out of curiosity, I asked my father that, what those guys are doing and, what sort of big machine that is. And I think that my father said that this is something which is supercomputer, which was something new for India, and, multiple people can work at the same time. I asked my father that, why can't we have this back home, wherein, probably you can sit aside and work, and I can play some games over there. It sounded pretty fascinating idea for me. I don't know whether my father had an answer for that question. I think he settled down my thoughts with probably a glass of fruity or a maza or something like that. Well, if you actually fast forward that whole story and bring us back to probably early 90s or maybe mid to late 90s, you would see that this whole computer age has started coming in, which has given a tremendous amount of opportunities for a lot of folks, and not just IT industry, right? I mean, there are education sector, there are health industry workers who are actually providing, consulting advices. Probably, if we talk about, 6 months back, you might be running this whole, debate in a newsroom, but how we are connected together is now, on computers. So I see a huge amount of potential and opportunity with this pandemic, and which has brought to us. And work from home is definitely, one of the boon for that. One of the famous and former president of United States, Mr. John F. Kennedy, once said, "Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for country." So I agree. I mean, there are tremendous amount of issues in front of us, but I think we can certainly learn from this work from home concept. If you think about some of the examples of Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, Mark Zuckerberg, apart from the fact that all three of them were probably the college dropouts or the school dropouts, but the seed of the idea of the product which they have brought to all of our life was actually when they were not working out of their offices. It was actually when they were working from their home. So I mean, work from home is the way I see is work from home is definitely something all of us have evolved. The COVID has made us learn a lot of things about this work from home culture. While there are tons of investment which has to go in to make that enable, but certainly I think with the help of employee and employers' contribution and a good amount of trust, we can certainly do that. Even if you take an example of I remember one of the video of 2017 when one of the BBC news reader was actually hosting a TV show, and some of his young kids entered the room, and that video became viral. Probably it has like 50 million hits on YouTube, right? But I mean, if you compare that video in today's era, I think it is a new normal, right? There's no harm, even if my wife is knocking my door, telling that the breakfast is ready, or my doctor is coming and saying hi to my clients or to my supervisors, right? I think it's pretty normal and it's pretty common. So I agree that. So I think it is really doing good for us. And we talked about some of the benefits of employees and employer. Even if from an economy perspective, I see there are some good amount of improvement on that as well. I mean, we are leaving our carbon footprints behind, right? I mean, there are less travel happening, so there's definitely a less pollution happening because of that. One of the study which is made in US, we say that on an average, with this, even if 50% of the population, if they start doing work from home, we can save around 51 million of metric tons of emissions per year. In India and
okay, thank you, Mr. Agrawal, for giving your view about the work from home culture. And according to you, it's in our genes, and we are doing it from the childhood. And you have described how nicely about the computers, and you have also mentioned that it is going to reduce the carbon and the pollution in the country. Yes. Now we would like to discuss the same point from our next panelist. He is Mr. Utkarsh Agrawal. Welcome, Mr. Utkarsh Agrawal, on this show.
Hi, Mr. Goel. Thanks for inviting me to this show.
Mr. Utkarsh Agrawal is a senior information security engineer. He is a bachelor's in computer science engineering from NMA-MIT VTU. He has done his master's in business administration from Singapore Management University, Singapore. He is working in Southeast Asia's largest SME digital financing platform with over 1 billion Singapore dollar in business financing funded. Welcome, Mr. Utkarsh Agrawal, on this show. Now, you have heard all the earlier three panelists, Mr. Munish Jain, Mr. Jayesh Shah, and Mr. Gaurav Agrawal. They have given their side of the story. They have said what are the plus points, and from the employer side also, as well as from the employee side also. We would like to know from you, because what Mr. Gaurav Agrawal was mentioning about Champak and Lotpot and all those things, you are not of that age. I don't think that because you have seen, because at when you know that many channels were there, but earlier, yes, only Doordarshan used to be. So now, as a millennium boy, I can say, what is your take about the COVID-19 work from home culture? Mr. Utkarsh Agrawal, please.
Hi, thank you once again for inviting me to this show. So, yeah, as I would like to touch upon various things which was mentioned by my fellow panelists. So I luckily work for an organization which even before COVID had a very flexible working environment. Like there's no particular hours, you can be anywhere in the world. Like in fact, I started my work in Bali, and then we worked there for 2 weeks, and then we came to Singapore, and like going to office was just like 1 or 2 days a week affair. So luckily I've been part of that. So what I understand, so I would like to start with the employer's perspective, how to enable work from home. Thankfully in the IT industry, like we are the adopters of all the fancy tools, whether it's, task management tools, like some of my colleagues will know Jira or Trello or something like that. So you don't need to micromanage your team, your employees, because you already have a scheduled task plan for them for a 2 week or a week. So we don't have to worry about if they show up at 9 o'clock or log off at 6. So all that is already taken care of. And obviously, it's based on trust. You trust your employees. That's why you hire them. That's why you screen them. That okay, if that chemistry is gonna fit and the performance will be there. So from that perspective, I think tools play a major role in enabling this culture. Whether it's related to communication like Zoom, Slack, Microsoft Link, whatever you use, which help like to be in touch with your team without any hassle, and like it's immediate, instant. Also, like as I already said, like tools to manage your work, like what you have to work on to stay organized. That's very important. And coming to an employee's perspective, I would say that I'll start with the pros. So one thing I immediately realize is my time to commute, as like Mr. Jayesh said, that I'm not spending 3 hours a day, but I was already spending like an hour going and coming back. That it's immediately reduced. I don't have to get ready and like wait for my cab, and like all that time is already saved. And obviously when we go to a place, we need like few minutes to settle down, and all that extra hours are being saved, and which I can actually spend on either working more or my personal family life. So that's an immediate relief. Other thing is like we can be more focused, because sometimes, like especially in the IT industry, uh, like we as programmers, developers, and consultants, we have to focus. And in many of the organizations with large headcounts, like there's always some sort of disturbance, like your colleagues talking around you. Like I mean, I've already seen, like we use noise cancellation headphones, but it's even better if you're at comfort of your home and you're not being disturbed, and you can really focus and improve your productivity. So immediately I've seen increase in my own productivity as well as my colleagues' productivity. I'll move to the cons, like without actually repeating any points given by other panelists already. One of the biggest cons initially I faced was, like, even though there's a bare minimum infrastructure, there's a good internet connection and a working laptop with a charging point. Other thing which really matters for your own health is a proper posture where you can sit, like you have a proper working desk. So I used to use my sofa or even bed to use that, but immediately I started facing back problems and headaches because of that. So it's very important that we have a proper workstation. It doesn't have to be fancy, like the bare minimum where you can sit in a proper posture and a comfortable position. So that's one thing. Then other thing is setting the boundaries of when your work stops. As I'll quote Mr. Jayesh Shah, that now there is no place to go back to. Like I'm sitting at home and I'm working. So at many times, like even now, even if I try to follow a schedule, I tend to extend that time. Like earlier, it used to be like, okay, by 7 o'clock, I'll just take a cab back home and then, like call it a day. But now I feel, okay, my laptop is open. Maybe I can just finish this off. Why, extend it till tomorrow? So that discipline is very important to define that, okay, that's when you call it off, you shut down your communication devices, you shut down your laptop, and you come back to your home mode. So that's very important. Other thing I would say is food habits. So when we are in a work setting, like we tend to follow our colleagues, okay, let's go for lunch or let's go for a tea break. But when we are at home, like we tend to forget all that, because there's nobody. Because even if you have your family back there, like they'll be busy with their own work or something else. and you have to define your own timing to eat proper meals and like the correct diet. So that's one thing which is really important to follow, like to have a proper routine, not just getting up out of your bed and start working. Like it's very important to do what you used to do when you're going to an office, like get up, get ready, have your tea, breakfast, and then start working, have proper lunch breaks. So breaks are very important. So another thing which I think as an employer, which can enable people is to promote interactions between your teams. Like it doesn't have to be work related. So one of the great thing my organization is doing is like we have these informal, obviously virtual meets, like for workout. So where one person who will show, like different workout position and everyone works out together. And we are also having like, so we all used to go for our after work, like Friday drinks or anything, which is now not happening again. So we also have these Friday evening virtual drinks where you drink, like whether it's alcohol or tea or whatever, and play games. And obviously, like nowadays, internet has free games available where you can, like it increases the cohesiveness between your team. Yeah. So I would say, like to sum it up, that to make it better is follow a discipline, over communicate, because you're obviously not sitting next to your colleague. So that normal interactions are missing. So it's good to over communicate, like, just, send messages, schedule informal calls or formal calls. Yeah. So that's how I would like to sum it up.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Utkarsh Agrawal, for giving your perspectives about how an employee should work. Even if he is at home, he should feel that he is at office. He should not change his routine. He should eat his breakfast, lunch, or evening tea on time. And he should sit on a proper posture with a proper working desk. Now, but yes, you people have given so good situation and picture. But I know many of the couples, both are working and they have a child of 2 years. Now, because of the lockdown, the nursery or the nanny, now no one is available. Now the child can't go to school or the nursery, and the nanny can't come to the house. Now in that situation, when both are working and both are working from home, and child is also there, how it's going to manage? I think it's a very, very challenging thing. Anyways, and now I would like to go to Mr. Manish Jain. Mr. Manish Jain, does work from home, are you listening to me?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Okay. Does work from home improve the economic productivity of companies?
It does, certainly. See, as far as the economics is concerned, it would work in a positive way. So no questions about it. Like you're saving huge on your infrastructure, as I told you, on the fancy items, on the fancy infrastructure that used to provide. The cabs used to be one of our major cost. So that is saved. So of course, no doubts about as far as the economics is concerned. But I mean, yeah, to answer your question, yes, it would definitely help.
Okay. So according to you, the company's economic productivity will improve. But what about the society? Because you are saying that cabs will not be used, the real estate will not be used, and I'm sure for your meetings and for your the business visitors, hotels will not be used. So what is going to happen to the infrastructure? Because now, when TCS had announced that 75% of their employee will work from home, definitely there will be a slump in real estate, because after all, they are having so many offices in India. What will happen to those properties? They have to leave. And once they will leave, it means there is surplus property. Similarly, the person who is staying in a metro city, he would like to go to a class or B class city, even to his village, if he is having a good internet connection. So what is going to happen to the real estate? This is also a question. What do you say about this?
See, Mr. Lal, the dynamics would change. Now, one's man's gains is others' loss as well. So if you talk about, your question was very specific for the companies, will the economics change? For IT companies and companies who are adapting to this culture, certainly it will change. As an employer, my cost will drastically reduce, right? Now, if the economies, if I have to talk about economies of scale, or probably it is the spread on other industries, yes, it will affect. certainly, because when you're not going out, you're not spending, you're not traveling. So there are the whole cycle or the whole chain gets affected, and that has already been affected. So yes, there would be new things which will come out. There would be new what you call services provided by restaurants. There would be something that will come for us which will be lucrative, which would probably help us in moving towards them. So if you asking for particularly as an employer, yes, I would probably be benefiting because of this culture. It will have a negative impact on other companies or other industries like real estate you mentioned. Certainly, everyone is negotiating on their rent these days. Companies who used to pay millions of rupees in their rents have probably negotiated at least 50% or 25%. Cabs, all these services, restaurants, other catering. This is all affected, certainly.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Munish Jain, for giving your ideas about the economic condition of the company as well as about the other companies also. Now, my question is to Mr. Jayesh Shah. Will India benefit from a global shift to work from home given its large tech outsourcing industry?
Sir, I think everybody else is from IT industry and better equipped than me to answer to that question, but let me apply my logic and common sense to this question. India will definitely benefit, of course, because it has always been seen as the next alternative or a hub to multiple industries, whether it is IT, whether it is automobiles, whether it is the other manufacturing, whether it is the plastic industry or whatsoever. India is going to definitely benefit, but it will depend on quite a few factors, not just people talent and the people quality available, but also the kind of environment given, ecosystem given and provided by the country. I have been working very closely with plastics industry and automobile industry. People and companies are willing to shift everything over here in terms of manufacturing and outsourcing. But, at macro level, there are so many challenges, the approvals, the labor, the manpower, the labor, associations who are many a times hindrance to the assured work power and steady work power. So the problems at micro level needs to be catered to, which is what China had actually gotten rid of. Once a company invests and brings everything to that country, there is a seamless delivery and they are assured of that seamless delivery. Over here, the government changes, the policy changes at ground level, the workforce changes, the association changes, everything. So I think ecosystem will play a more important role to make that dream, actually a reality. And same is true for IT. That's my submission.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Jayesh Shah, because what you said is that yes, that there will be advantage to the India. Only thing is that we have to change our mindset. If we will give the quick permissions and remove the red tape and change the labor laws, although some of the state government has already done it, and the country is, I think, moving in that mode. Definitely, India will be benefited. Now, my next question is to Mr. Gaurav Agarwal. How can employees improve their productivity while working from home?
Yeah, sure. I think it is going to happen, with a partnership of employer and employee, right? I mean, while as Mr. Manish said that, or Mr. Jayesh also said that, employers have to, provide a little bit more trust in their employees, and employees have to obey that, and have to admire the fact that a certain amount of trust has been provided by their employers, and they have to do that, right? So that's one. The other thing is I see a lot of productivity increase because we are having less stress, we are having less pollution. Our respiratory issues are solved to a great extent. So our productivity has definitely increased. we are providing, there's a good amount of, work-life balance. We are spending more quality life, with our family and friends, which actually increases our productivity. So I think, those are some of the things, through which, the employees, can be benefited by that. One other point I would like to add, which I think, Mr. Munish was trying to answer, that I think there's a lot of disparity between how our top tier countries have been structured, right? I mean, if you name a few, there are hardly like 10 to 12 cities which are properly established to support these things. I mean, if we allow our employees to work from home and actually go to their native places, we can see a surge in the demand of a lot of real estate market, and a lot of side businesses will grow. So I think when they are close to their work, when they are close to the environment in which they're feeling more free to work, certainly the productivity will increase, and we'll see a greater throughput of that. So I think those are some of the factors which I think can increase the productivity of employees, and they can contribute more towards the work.
Okay, so according to you, the productivity is going to increase because they are working from home. Although there are lots of jokes coming on WhatsApp that the employee is cutting the vegetables and washing the utensils. Anyway, they are jokes apart. Now, I am coming to Mr. Utkarsh Agrawal. Will work from home become a permanent shift, or is it a temporary until the pandemic is over? Mr. Utkarsh Agrawal.
I mean, I don't think it's going to be permanent. I think at some point of time, like people will go back to their office, and they would prefer to work from offices, because nothing can really replace an office setting. While I would feel that this notion of being at office every day in a 9-to-5 job will go away. And just like how we work from office, with a new normal will be also to work from home. There'll be more understanding between employers and employees that, okay, if you want to work from home, you can work from home. And like maybe even do like once in a week you come to office, which actually reduces the real estate cost as well. So like if you divide your team, like let's say the business team shows up 2 days in a week, the IT team shows up 2 days in a week, you don't need that big of an office to rent out. So the real estate business still saves, while as well as the office culture still stays as well.
Okay, so according to you, it all depends on the company to company. But once after in the post-COVID also, the people would like to go for work from home more, and will divide in such a way that the company will save the money. Okay, now, Mr. Munish Jain, should the government provide training programs for digital literacy to create job opportunities in rural area? Like Mr. Gaurav have mentioned something about that the people, when they will go to the native place, there will be a surge of real estate there, as well as the market will develop. Now, if it is like this, because in India, this migrants thing has happened, and the many people have gone to their native place. This is an opportunity to develop the rural areas if government will provide training programs for digital literacy, and definitely the employees' cost will be less, because if they are staying at their native place, their cost of living will be less, many things will be less. So what is your take about it?
Yes, I mean, a very valid point raised by Gaurav, that when people move to their native places, the side businesses will grow up for sure. Now, this will probably reduce the crowd in the metros, for sure. If this culture creeps in, if we are used to this culture, and I'm sure this will gonna stay longer. I mean, this will be a new normal. At least 25 to 30% of the workforce in the entire industry would shift to this culture. IT probably may have a bigger percentage, for sure. Now, as far as the digital learning programs is concerned, for the government initiative, government is already doing whatever they can in bits and pieces. Yes, on a larger front, it is required now in the rural areas, for sure. And I would say the people who were probably moving towards the metros for work. I mean, if I'm in Delhi, New Delhi, now people moving to Noida and Gurgaon, there was a huge what you call workforce in those around areas. Now, if they're moving back to their native places, they would have even more opportunities to probably build up their teams, build up the infrastructure, and help everyone, not just the government initiative. It has to be individual initiatives as well. There will be more learning centers developed in those tier 3, 4, 5 cities. So I think, yes, this is a great opportunity. And just to add to your last question that you asked from Jayesh, the opportunities for India is tremendous and humongous. If you remember, during the earlier tech boom, India used to be the favorite country. It slowly moved to Philippines, to China, to Pakistan, all these countries. Now, people are, they have still a kind of hard feelings for China these days. So I think this is very good opportunity for India to probably get the major chunk of the world business.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Jain, for giving your perspectives about that India is having a very fair chance to get a chunk of the business from other countries. Now, Mr. Jayesh, this question I think is not related to the IT. This is, what are the innovative ways that company can adopt to help employees who have younger kids at home?
Wow, I have a young kid at home. I think there are initiatives. I had a client who was into daycare and preschool business, and they were already talking to tying up with large MNCs, offering their services, wherein both the people at home are working and they have a kid. So daycare business and preschool business is on an upswing. The opportunity and probably what the companies should look at is tying up with such services and experts of daycare, and they can actually have multiple outlets as per their branches, as per their offices, and have these facilities made available so that if at all, the people are wanting to stay focused at work and still having to attend a young kid, they are assured that it's been attended within their vicinity by their company. So geographically and location wise, it may be task, but I think there are a lot many service providers and franchises outlets in this business who can partner with them.
Okay. So according to you, the company has to come out with a new ideas, because earlier, like Facebook and other companies, they have all the facilities for the younger kids in their offices. But now
Yes.
it's a work from home culture. So they have to provide something next to their houses where they are staying and their locality. So they need not to have that problem. Correct, Mr. Jayesh? That's what you mean?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Now I move to Mr. Gaurav Agrawal. Now, Mr. Gaurav Agrawal, how is work from home affected the overall working of business? What are the pros and cons of it?
So I think we need to segment that into multiple industries, right? I mean, most of our panelists are from IT industry, but I think we should also consider about other industries, right? Wherein work from home might not be a sweet spot, right? I mean, if you talk about manufacturing industry, automobile, health workers, agriculture. So I think a good amount of folks are really struggling in terms of how they can operate from work from home. Definitely, it brings us joy and a lot of improvements and relaxation and ease at work of people who are working in service sector. So in terms of cons, I would say that some of the technology woes, we do not have the right logistics in place for many of us, even in service industries, right, wherein the deliveries are not happening on time, wherein we can manage the right set of equipments for us. There are times when we are unable to unplug ourselves towards the work, and our working hours have increased a lot. The number of meetings have increased a lot. So I think, those are, while earlier it was possible for me to, just step by at someone's desk and ask a quick clarification, and now I need to set up a call. It could be as less as 15 minutes, but then, those 15 minutes calls, maybe the frequency of those calls are like, 7 or 8 in a day, right? So those are some of the cons of, working from home. I think the way, we can improve upon this is, I think as I said that, with the employer and government partnership, I think if we can relax some of our rules wherein, government revise their labor laws and, taxation rules to those employees, who are working from home, and, the amount of benefit which governments and employers are getting, if they can pass it on to those who are actually in need instead of laying off the employees of their own company, right? I think those are some of the benefits. The other thing I see is if we can change our labor laws to the extent to allow one employee to work for multiple firms, right? I think, those are some of the other things, which can be benefited. And the workforce, which I see, can majorly be benefited by them are women employees, university students, and, handicapped. So that they need not be tagged towards, one employer. They can work on multiple employees and, be benefited out of that.
Mr. Gaurav Agrawal, thank you for saying, but what you have mentioned is contradicted what other earlier panelists says. Then the trust factor, because you says that a employee can work in different companies at one time. You mean to say this?
Yes, why not? I mean, if I'm spending 6 hours of time and if I have 2 more of time, I can probably, give that time to an educational institute and maybe, teach some of the kids and some of the, university graduates. So if the labor laws are flexible to have such kind of norms and adopt, this kind of culture, why not?
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Gaurav Agrawal. Now, Mr. Utkarsh Agrawal, in India, we have a joint family concept where 4 or 5 or 6 people are staying together. And at that time, if 2 of the persons or the family members are working from home, and as earlier panelist says, there is a doorbell ringing, some disturbance, how you think the productivity will go up? Because in India, when there's a small flat with 5 or 6 people, because of the lockdown, everyone is there, children are there, and they all are running. You cannot ask the children that you are working, so please don't come to my room because there are only 2 rooms. So in that scenario, how you think the employee can work freely and more productively from home?
Yeah, I think that's a fair issue, like especially with kids. Like at least if adults, like you can say, okay, this is my room, this is my work setting, and please don't disturb me. But when it comes to kids, obviously you can't do anything much apart from hiring a house help, right? Even with that, I have a friend in Singapore itself, like who has a daughter, like she's 1 year old, and recently their nanny left. Like it was a house help. So now they're suffering because both husband and wife work. They have meetings and calls the entire day, and kids at that age, like they cry all the time and like they want attention. So I think it is a real issue, but obviously this issue is also managed when you go to office, right? When you're not at home, someone has to take care of the child. So obviously that person has to be like there, whether it's your family or whether it's hired help. So that issue will always be there.
No, but see, it is because of the COVID. Even the maids are not allowed in many of the societies, and the nannies are not allowed. I think in even USA there was a restriction initially. Then they have termed the nannies as they comes under the essential services. But many societies were not allowing them. In Mumbai also, many societies are not allowing. In that condition, I think it's a very, very difficult time for them.
Yeah, I think like India has to like change these policies, like so that there's a safe environment both for the house help. Like there can be proper health checks before you allow someone in your house, and it's much easier if the help stays at home with you 24/7. So there's less chances of transmission. Like how it happens in Singapore is, and right now it's happening is there is a restriction on the house helps to go out. Like usually it used to be Sunday free day for them, but now even Sundays they cannot go out. You have to stay at home all the time. So essentially they become part of the family, and there's no chance of transmission. So in that way, I think India also has to change its laws and regulations around those things.
According to India, has to change the laws. But the only problem is we have very small houses in many of the cases. At that time, to ask the maid also to stay or the nanny has to stay is a bit difficult thing. Anyways, now I would like you, starting from Mr. Munish Jain, give your advice to the employees or to the employers, or any suggestions if you want to give to the government. Just for 2 minutes, please.
Sure. I mean, we have covered everything so far. As far as the employer is concerned, or as a entrepreneur is concerned, my advice to fellow entrepreneurs would be, now these are testing times for all. Liquidity is one of the major concerns for everyone in the industry. So we should probably, just try and understand the situation on the other side and help your clients, your customers. Probably going a little out of the way and just support them. That is required at this time. The chain has broken, so we have to all have to make collective efforts. Not just your employees and employers, also to the fellow industry people. That's something which is very, very required. Government will do its own, but we as professionals, we should also understand the critical phase of this short time, I would say. So that's something that I'm more concerned about. And again, the crisis management that I said, that has to be well thought of. This has to come from the top level. I mean, from the government level, that they have the disaster management and everything in place, but something of this magnitude has to be thought of well going forward. So the rest, everything I think we have covered.
Okay, yeah. Thank you, Mr. Munish Jain, for giving your suggestions and advice. Now, Mr. Jay Shah, what is your advice to the employers, to the employees, and the suggestions to the government?
Mr. Goel, every organization and every industry, I'm sure they are working on it. So my inputs will be probably more towards my industry. And of course, there are a lot of bureaucrats working for the government, and I'm too small a fry in the whole thing to suggest to government. I'll keep my few points focused to the industry that I bring in and cater to. I think women has a good potential right now, and all the employers should look at them. Gone are all the barriers that were stopping women from playing a meaningful role. I have to go back home to take care of my kids and my family. I have to go back home to make food for my in-laws. I have to go, I'm staying very far, so I have to return home on time. All these barriers are gone, and suddenly you will find there is huge potential and talent available in form of a woman. We all should probably capitalize and give them opportunities. Second is optimization and minimization will be the key for the organization and for the employees also. They have to ensure they give the best of their worth. The organization have to ensure that they are optimizing that resources. That is how they will sustain and survive this difficult phase. I think over a period of time, it's a very evolving phase we are in. We liked work from home 20 days back. Those people are not liking work from home. People who are not liking working from home are now liking working from home. And this will keep on changing every 2 months. But over a period of time, I think organization and employees will come to a fine balance wherein there is a mix of 2 days a week, which is work from office, 5 days a week, which is 4 days a week for probably work from home. And how do we optimize and minimize again the cost, and productivity is probably much more. People talk about productivity, which is 30% increase. I myself have seen that. But currently, I think it has come at the cost of 30% increase in time of the employee going into the work. The fatigue will soon creep in. So organization they have to work in fine balance to bring that, so fatigue doesn't creep in. From employee point of view, discipline is going to be the key. Day-to-day task has to be planned and has to be delivered, because he will be more and more accountable every day. He will be more and more measurable in terms of output. There is no scope for flab. Any extra flab, whether it is real estate, whether it is HR, whether it is IT, or any and everything, will be cut off, and you have to be ensured that you are not that extra flab. And I think there will be more and more, and should be more and more hands-on teamwork between the employee and engagement. Like one of my colleagues said, it has to be accommodative to each other. It has to be empathetic to each other. It has to be working towards one goal, and that has to be defined and understood clearly. I think that is if
Okay.
this is taken care of, we are all home.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Jaysha, for giving your advices and your suggestions. Now, Mr. Gaurav Agrawal, your suggestions to the employers and to the employees.
Sure. I'll include employer, employee, and government, all actually. And
Yeah.
depending upon, multiple sectors and industries, I think, employers should provide the right equipments and logistics to employees. They may call out, some of the packages that the X amount of dollars or rupees, can be provided to you to make sure that, you have the right equipments in place. I think for health sector, my advice would be that if we can allow, our doctors and, health practitioners to allow, giving the virtual to the consultation on the virtual conferences. Maybe, patients can, send their reports, and, they can meet them over virtual conference and provide the consultation. For the educationists, I would say, if the support equipments can be provided to them so that, professors, lecturers, and, teachers can, run those sessions from home. Government, my suggestion would be if they can, make some taxation changes and, revise in, some of the labor laws so that, employers can be benefited, and, those benefits can directly be provided to employees. And then, some sort of benefits if employee actually move to, a tier 2 or tier 3 cities. It could be in terms of, some of the taxation benefits, but ultimately what you're losing here is you'll end up gaining, with a surge of demand in real estate and, the other industries which will eventually develop in tier 2 and tier 3 cities. So I think, those will be some of my suggestions.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Gaurav Agrawal, for giving your suggestions and advice. Only one point I would like to make you about the health. I think it is everywhere, even in USA and in India also. Nowadays, the doctors are giving virtual consultation to the patients, and even the reports are coming on that. But yes, you are right that everyone, if we will do all those things, it will be a advantageful for everyone, especially in the COVID time. Now,
Right.
the same thing to Mr. Utkarsh Agrawal, advice to employees, and in case if you want to give to the government also, any suggestion?
Yeah. So my advice to the employers obviously will be like to essentially organization is to be agile and like be open to change. Like it's a saying that the change is the only constant, and you should be always ready to pivot. Like gone are the days where you can be a traditionalist and stick to one business. Like this entire pandemic episode has taught everyone, each one of us, like the reality of how bad things can go. And obviously automation and using of automation tools, whether it's for employee productivity management or to get organized, is very important to achieve maximum efficiency. And to my advice to employees would be obviously like not to lose your focus, give like enough time, maintain that work life balance ratio. Like as Mr. Jay said, that the 30% extra productivity is actually coming from the extra time saved on commute. So this can actually result in work, people just getting tired of their overworked and ultimately gaining stress again. So that discipline is required. Take leaves. Like many people tend to say, oh, why do I need to take leave? And I can't take medical leave. So I mean, headaches are still a reality. Other diseases are still a reality. So even employers have to be empathetic towards that. That if someone is saying I can't work today, they should be okay. Yeah, you can take the day off. To the government, I would say, like from India's perspective, as I'm aware that there are like certain laws like SEZ, which are given to IT companies, where if their employees work from a certain place, they're giving tax benefits. I think all this needs to go away, because again, it's the idea of anti-work from home, which forces companies to set up offices in these remote areas, and forcing longer travel times just because there's a tax benefit. I think there has to be flexibility around that, and it shouldn't be tied to a location. Yeah,
Okay.
that's fine.
Thank you very much, Mr. Utkarsh Agrawal, for giving your advices and suggestions. So today you have seen the other side, the real side from the work from home culture. And you have heard from the employer's side also, as well as from employee side also. And you have seen what types of productivity, because people feel that, like I mentioned earlier, that there are jokes also, but it's not a joke. They all are working very, very seriously. And that is why the country, not only India, every country is ready to fight with the COVID, because the work from home is there. If it would have been total lockdown, the hospitals can't sustain, because they require lots of things, lots of information. All those things are possible because people are working from home. Today's program, which was brought to you live by V4 News, News Karnataka, Global TV, Malnadu TV, as well as on Facebook and YouTube. We are thankful to them. And our endeavor is to bring new panelists and new companies every day. For tomorrow, our topic is COVID-19 impact on LPG trade. And we have very, very good panelists on that. Please just see to it at 11 a.m. tomorrow positively. Thank you very much. Thank you all my panelists who have joined, and especially those who have joined from abroad, because there is a late night and whatnot, but still to everyone who are there. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Goel. Pleasure.
Thank you, everybody. Pleasure.